Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Bibbidi Bobbidi Books. My name is Ellie and today I'm going to be filming my September TBR, but there's going to be a little bit of a twist to it because as you can see I have a guest with me today.
Hello.
So this is my boyfriend Danny, and the reason why I brought you along is because I thought it'd be fun to do a TBR game.
Yep.
This month. So we are actually taking part in a Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
This weekend, yeah.
This weekend.
We've never played it before. It's the first time we're going to be doing it. But we're both excited and we've been reading about it and things and itching to play it. So we decided to do a kind of loose kind of Dungeons and Dragons theme for this TBR.
So
but I'm going to have the role of the Dungeon Master.
No pressure.
Which is a lot of responsibility, so now I'm regretting everything, but it'll be alright.
No, it's going to be good fun. So I guess we should explain what Dungeons and Dragons is.
So it's a tabletop role-playing game. Basically you will have, prior to starting, you will have created a character and they will have their own kind of skills and attributes and things. There's a lot of numbers involved, but basically there'll be certain things that they're good at and certain things they might not be as good at. But essentially you can sort of say what your character does, you know, what decisions they make, what they say to other characters and things like that, and if there's combat, you know, what they do in the fighting and things. So you basically just tell the Dungeon Master, in this case me, what you want your character to do, and then the Dungeon Master says what happens as a consequence of that action, basically. The only things that you don't outright decide happen are when there's kind of not a guaranteed chance that you will succeed at something. So you can say you want to attempt something, and then to decide whether or not you succeed is usually decided by dice. And the main one that gets used is a 20-sided dice, which I've got here, which you probably can't see, but that's the number 20 on there. So we're going to just be using this one. There's lots of different types in Dungeons and Dragons for different things, but we're going to keep it super simple and literally just have it so that if Ellie attempts something, she'll roll the dice, the die. If she gets 1 to 10, then that's a failure. If she gets 11 to 20, then it's a success. So she's just got to get more than 10, basically.
It's like 50-50 basically.
Kind of a coin toss, but with a cool dice. So that's kind of how it's going to work, essentially. And in terms of the quest that she'll have we talked about the grand prize?
No, so we thought we would pick a grand prize for this quest, and the grand prize is going to be the book that I most want to read in September. So the book that I've chosen is The Book of Gothel by Mary McMine. So this is one of my most anticipated book releases for this year. It's a fairy tale retelling, which is right up my street. It's a retelling of Rapunzel, as I'm sure you can probably guess from the picture on the front there. But this is actually the story of Mother Gothel, so it's kind of like the kind of villain's point of view, I guess. And I've heard people saying fantastic things about it, and that it's really atmospheric, and I just thought this would be perfect for autumn. So super excited to read this one. I've got a feeling it's going to be like a new favourite, so I really want to win the prize. So yeah, that's going to be the goal of the quest, I guess, is to get this book. Yep,
ultimately, yeah. But you will collect a few other books along the way. So there'll be a few different kind of situations that you might have to overcome.
Okay.
And depending on the outcome of that, you'll get 1 of 2 books. If you succeed and you do well, then you'll get 1 of your more preferred books from your TBR.
Okay.
And if you fail at it, then you get 1 of your less preferred books.
Okay.
And the outcomes of the situations will stack. So the better you do throughout the thing, when you get to the end, you've got a better chance of getting the Book of Gothel.
Okay.
If you do very badly the whole way through, it's very unlikely that you'll get Book of Gothel.
Okay, so basically I go around collecting books for my TBR, and at the end, hopefully I get my hands on the prize, which is the Book of Gothel.
Yep.
Okay.
That's basically it.
So I guess I have actually picked some preferred books for my TBR. So I guess I'll maybe chat you through them now. So the ones that I would ideally like to read in September are Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. So this is the first book in her first trilogy in her wider world that she's created, and I've heard fantastic things about Robin Hobb. Everyone always goes on about how amazing her characters are and everything, and so I've been meaning to read her books for the longest time, so I'm really hoping that I can finally get to it in September. depending on how the game goes. The next book that I really want to read is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. So this is a horror thriller type book that I think you would really enjoy, actually.
I was going to say, this sounds cool.
So this one is set underwater. So it's like a horror book underwater, basically. I'm imagining there'll probably be some kind of deep sea creatures.
That's always fun.
And yeah, it just sounds really, really creepy. And yeah, I thought that'd be perfect for getting closer to Halloween. And then the final book that I really want to read is Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. This is such a classic. I've never actually read this book before, but I really want to read it in September because there is a exhibition going on in London, which is a Jurassic Park exhibition thing, and I really want us to go to it. And I thought it'd be really cool to do a reading vlog where I read the book and go to the exhibition. Just thought that'd be really fun. So yeah, those are the 3 preferred books, I guess, that I would like to read. So yeah.
Right then.
I guess we just get started.
Okay, so...
I feel like it will become clearer as we play.
So, for the sake of this little game, we will use your character that you've made.
Oh, the one that I created.
For our first D&D campaign.
Okay.
We won't use any of the actual stats or anything. We're going to keep it super simple, but just for flavour, you are Fig. You are a gnome druid.
Fig.
Okay. All right, and you, for whatever reason, you really want this book.
The Book of Gothel. Okay.
So you're in a town, and you go into the bookshop.
Okay.
You're speaking with the bookseller, and you're asking if they have the Book of Gothel, and the bookkeeper lets you know that they don't actually sell that book. They don't stock it as standard, but he does have a personal copy of it.
Okay.
He really doesn't want to part with it, so it's not really for sale. But there have been a series of robberies in the town recently.
Okay.
And 3 of his books have been stolen by goblins.
How mysterious. Okay.
So he kind of puts it to you that if you can somehow find the books that have been stolen and bring them back, then he will give you the Book of Gothel.
Okay, so I need to find the 3 stolen books.
Yes.
And then he'll give me the Book of Gothel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the 3 stolen books happen to be the 3 that you've just said that you want to read, okay?
Okay, well that's handy.
But there will be other books around that you might get instead of those.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Right then, so
I guess...
what do you want to do then? You agree, I guess, and say,
yeah.
Let's
Okay.
go, I want to go and get these books back
Okay.
from the goblins. So you step out of the bookshop and you're in a sort of town square, people milling about, there's little houses and things.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I would like to approach the friendliest looking person and ask them if they've seen any goblins recently pass through this area.
Okay, so you look for the friendliest looking person, the most happy smiley person you can see, and you ask them if they've seen any goblins, and they seem a little bit out of it. They're just kind of like, no, not seen anything. Isn't it lovely day?
Oh, Tom. Okay.
I'll help you out a bit. You do notice that the rest of the townspeople do seem a little bit annoyed, and there is somebody in a nearby house who actually seems to be kind of mending what looks to be a broken window on his house.
Okay, so I'm guessing the broken window maybe was something to do with the goblins that have been running around.
Well, we'll see.
Okay, so I'll approach the man who's mending his window, and I'll say, "Hello, I'm Fig. Have you seen any goblins running through this area?"
Alright. I'm not going to be doing actual role playing or voices or anything like that. So
Okay.
I'm going to be saying what people... I'll tell you what they've said, but I'm not going to say it as if
Okay.
I can't do that.
That takes the pressure off me as well. I don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to actually say your lines. We'll keep it low key. Okay, so he lets you know. He's very annoyed and grumpy. He lets you know in reasonably unpolite terms that yes, he's seen some goblins.
Okay.
And he kind of gestures to the window, lets you know that he was burgled. And he says they ran off that way, and he points up the northern path outside of the town. What would you like to do?
So I have a direction, so I guess I head north.
Alright, so you head out of the town, you're following the sort of the road. Eventually you can kind of see in the distance there's kind of like a ramshackled makeshift like marketplace stall that's just at the side of the road.
Okay.
It looks like it's kind of been shoddily put together. It seems like, a bit rushed, but it's sat there, and then there's a very small figure behind the market stall. They're concealed. They've got a hood over their heads.
Okay.
And they've got an odd collection of random bits and bobs on the countertop. Things ranging from like precious jewellery to kind of bits of random cloth, and particularly shiny pebbles that are otherwise worthless. You know, a bit of a range of things. There's a bit like utensils and tools, just a bit of everything. There are a couple of books there.
Okay.
Okay.
Do they happen to be goblin-sized?
They appear to be the size that they could be the size of a goblin.
Suspicious.
Would you like to take a closer look?
Yes, please. Can I see if I can see anything strange about this character that's selling all these things?
So you can try and have a better look from where you're at now, with a bit of a distance, or you can kind of get closer to try and see.
I'll move a little bit closer.
Okay. Right. So you go up fairly close to the stall.
Yeah.
And now that you're up closer, you can see that the figure behind the marketplace stall look a bit odd. They're not. They might not be. They don't look like they were a child, which is what you might have been thinking before. They don't look like a dwarf or a halfling. There's a greenish hint to their skin. The hood that's pulled up looks like it's concealing some very big pointy ears.
Okay.
They're sitting there grinning, and you can see their teeth are a little bit sharper than a normal person, possibly.
I think this might be our goblin friend.
It's a goblin.
Yeah. I would never have guessed.
You can also, while you're here, you can also see that the two books that you've noticed, they don't seem to be kind of on display like everything else. Almost like they weren't meant to be there for sale. They're kind of just almost propping up some of the other stuff. So there's a little kind of collection of gemstones on top of the books, and there's like a wooden spoon leaning against the books, but the books themselves can seem to be in the background almost.
Can I see the title of the book?
Hadn't decided that. Yes, you can see. Well, you can see the spines of the books, and you can see that one of them is one of the books that you've been asked to retrieve.
Okay.
By the bookkeeper.
Okay.
And the other one is a book on gardening.
Okay. Okay. So I ask the cloaked figure, how much do you want for one of those books? I can see you're not really needing them.
So they look a bit confused. They seem to not really know what you mean when you say book. They seem to not really be familiar with that, and they can see that you're gesturing at the books. So they sort of know, oh, look at that thing. But it seems strange to them, but then they're like, oh, well, it must be valuable to these humans. Or, you're not a human, you're a gnome actually, aren't you? But
yeah.
You know what I mean. So then he says 100 gold pieces.
100 gold pieces for a book?
Well, he sees that you really want it, so.
Damn it. Do I have any money on me?
You have 5 silver pieces.
Okay. So I say, that's ridiculous for a book. It's just an old dusty book.
So the goblin gets a bit agitated.
Oh dear. Okay.
Doesn't seem to take kindly to that. He doesn't really say anything, but he kind of...
Okay, so instead I quickly pick up was it a spoon resting on the book?
Yeah.
Pick up the spoon and pretend to look interested in the spoon.
Okay.
To like calm him down.
And he says, that's 2 gold pieces.
Okay. So I think I'm going to have to like cause a distraction. I think I'm going to try and do a little bit of a...
Switcheroo.
Yeah. So, because I'm a druid, I have some magical powers. So I think what I'm going to do is do an illusion. And I am going to make it sound like there is some kind of threatening creature growling behind him. To like startle him so that he looks around.
Alright, so yeah, there's a growl, maybe a wolf or a bear or something.
Something threatening.
Big threatening sounding growly noise behind the goblin, and he flinches and panics and looks around.
And I quickly grab the book and put it in my pocket.
Okay, so right, so you first dice roll.
First dice roll.
So you need to do a sleight of hand check.
Okay.
So in the normal game, you might have bonus points to this, which make it easier to roll a certain number. As I said before, we're just going to be doing above or below 10. Okay. So if you roll 11 or more, then you succeed.
Okay.
I'll let you roll the dice.
Shall we film the dice roll, just so that you know that we're not cheating?
Okay, yeah. Hang on.
Oh, I'm nervous. Okay, so I want a 10 or higher.
Yeah. No, 11 or higher.
11 or higher.
Yeah.
Oh, come on!
That is a 4.
I got a 4.
So you fumble. You think that the goblin is starting to turn around and you panic. You're not used to kind of stealing or anything like this, so you're a bit twitchy. You're normally a law-abiding citizen. This doesn't come naturally to you. So when the goblin starts to turn around, you sort of just panic and you try and get it done quickly, and you just snatch the book, and in your panic you kind of just run off, and you run off into the forest. So you've been running for a little while. You're pretty sure the goblin's not following you. You didn't steal any of the gems or anything like that, and the goblin didn't seem bothered about the books, so you don't think he'll be following you, so you think it's safe to stop. So you look down at the book that you retrieved for the bookkeeper, and you realise that you've picked up the book about gardening.
Oh no.
So you got the wrong one.
The wrong book.
Which means it's not from your preferred list on the TBR, it is one that I've just picked up from your less preferred list, and it is this one. Neverwhere
by Neil Gaiman. To be fair, I have been trying to read all of Neil Gaiman's books, so it's gonna make me read another one.
I mean, the thing is, they're all on your TBR, so like, they're all books you bought and you want to read anyway, so.
Yeah. And I've heard, good things about this, so. I guess this is gonna be the first book that I'm gonna be reading in September.
Cool.
Neverwhere.
But, reminder that when we get to the end, the shopkeeper's not gonna be happy.
Oh no!
Slipping from your grasp.
I'm gonna be so sad.
You've got 2 more chances though, it's fine. 2 more books, be alright.
Okay, so I've just panicked and run into the forest with the wrong book.
With a book on gardening.
Okay.
There we go. And as a forest gnome druid, a book on gardening isn't really that helpful for you anyway.
I flick through it and say,
amateurs.
Yeah.
Okay, right, so while you're in the forest, you do see some little goblin footprints, some tracks.
Curious, okay.
So you do have a lead, it's not all been for nothing. So you follow the tracks, eventually you can see a cave in the distance. It looks like the goblin tracks go towards the cave.
Okay.
So you're kind of just outside the cave, and as you're getting closer to it, nice and quietly, you can hear what sounds like a couple of pairs of footsteps coming out of the cave.
Okay. Is there anything I can hide behind? Anything like a bush or a tree?
Yeah, so if you just stand to the side of the cave entrance, there's bushes there, you'll actually pretty well.
So I'm going to crouch in the bush.
Don't need to do a dice roll for that. You can hide in the bush.
And
they wouldn't see you if they came up.
Okay, so I'm just going to stay there and
wait.
wait.
You're listening. So
they come out.
As they get a bit closer to the entrance, it does sound like there's 2 goblins. It sounds like there's a bit of an argument going on. One of them seems to be telling off the other one for not stealing the right things, telling him that he should have been taking shiny things, but he's just picked up these square things with flappy. I'm thinking how to describe a book without
saying book.
Yeah, it is books. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not good at this. Telling him off for stealing books.
Okay.
Because he's like, why would we want books? So you wait and you see these 2 goblins leave the cave.
Yeah.
You wait until the way out of the way. What do you want to do?
Can I hear any other?
Nothing else from the cave. It sounds quiet.
Okay.
If you poke your head round, you can see that it's not. It doesn't look kind of like a lived-in cave. It's not particularly deep. You can kind of make out the end of the cave from where you are. You've got quite good eyesight in dark.
So I can't see any other figures or anything in the cave?
No, it looks like it's empty now. There's objects, but no people with it.
Okay. I'm gonna stay like crouched.
Okay.
And I'm gonna like sneakily, quietly go into the cave.
Okay.
Keeping my wits about me.
Alright, so as you go in the cave, you're looking around. It looks like it's been kind of shoddily dug out by hand. It doesn't look like a natural cave.
Okay.
Or maybe the start of it looked like it could have been natural, but it's been kind of deepened with tools, but not in a particularly... There's no finesse to it.
Okay.
It's not like a mine where you might have kind of wooden beams for support and things. It's kind of shoddily just dug away. It's not very high, but as a gnome, you don't really mind. You're quite small anyway. As you're going through, you notice random trinkets and things scattered around the edges of the cave. It looks like it's somewhere that things are stored, possibly just temporarily.
Okay, so like they're hoarding stuff there.
It looks like that could be the case, yeah. So they could be taking things from the town, and this is kind of like a storage point for them to kind of come back to.
Do there happen to be any books lying around?
Well, so partway down the cave, you're looking through the things, and there's like goblets and helmets and things, and there are coins. You pocket a couple of them.
Yeah.
to return them to the rightful owners, obviously.
Oh.
And there is a book there. And you're excited, you're like, yes, this must be one of the other books that are stolen. And it's not.
Aww.
It's a book on pins.
Is that because we were reading Going Postal?
Yeah, I couldn't think of anything boring.
Funny.
Pins. A book about
on pins?
Yeah,
okay.
It's total pins.
Okay, I could not think of a book that I want less than this.
Okay.
Or is it just lying on the floor?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've already picked it up to look at it, and you've got plenty of space in your bag, so you kind of just take it anyway.
Am I at the back of the cave now?
No, sorry, you're halfway down. You can see what looks to be another book at the end of the cave.
Okay. I bet that's the book that I want.
Could be. As you're kind of thinking this,
oh no.
You hear a rumble.
Oh no.
And you can feel there's a bit of a shake, and you can see bits of the rock from the ceiling start to kind of flake, and there's dust starts coming from the ceiling, and bits of stone that start to come down.
Okay. Oh, it's gonna be a cave in.
Feels like it, possibly. And as I say, based on how this cave's been dug out, it doesn't look like it's been built to last. And it looks like they might have actually recently added to the back of it to try and expand their storage space. All right.
How deep did you say it was?
Close enough. You can get there relatively quick.
So I'm halfway, and I can get.
You're halfway through to the back of the cave, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, you feel like there's going to be a cave in, but you're pretty sure the book down there is the one you want.
Ugh.
In fact, if you squint, you can see that you can see that it says Jurassic Park.
Okay. I think that says Jurassic Park. Okay. I guess I'm a gnome, right? So I'm quite nimble.
Yeah.
Should I try and just run and quickly grab it and then get out of there?
All right. So you need to do a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
So yeah. So same rules. Above 10, and you succeed in rushing in, grabbing the book, and rushing out.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna need to film the dice roll.
Oh.
I hope you get it.
I know, so do I. I really want to read Jurassic Park. Okay. Oh,
a 10. Oh.
No.
Unfortunate.
Oh, it was so close. Okay.
I want to fudge it for you, but I'll play by the rules.
No. Okay.
Okay.
No Jurassic Park for me.
Oh. So so you're so close. You're just about to go and reach the book, and then you see that the rocks just fall down and cover the book. There's still the shaking, and you feel like you're still in danger, so you just have to leg it out of there.
I don't have time to dig it out.
You don't have time to dig it out, and as you're running out, the rest of the roof caves in just behind you. You just make it out. So the whole cave is now
gutted.
Unlucky. Sorry. 2 for 2.
Okay. Okay. Well, hey ho.
So you come out of the cave and you're feeling a bit deflated because
I am feeling a bit deflated.
Two of the books you're supposed to have, you've had the opportunity,
no.
they've just slipped from your grasp so far, and you're feeling like all is lost. And you sit down, you actually climb up on top of where on top of the hill the cave was on, and you sit there looking out, and you kick in your little gnome feet because you're a bit sad about it. And then you look to your side and sort of jump because there's a figure sitting right next to you.
Wait, do I get any other book?
You have you've got the other book that was halfway down the cave.
Oh, do I?
The book on pins.
Oh, great. So I've got a book on pins.
Oh yeah. Do you want me to give you a book on pins now?
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to pick one that's probably a bit better than a book on pins. So this was the book on pins.
Nevernight by J. Kristoff. Cool. I mean, I have been meaning to read this series for a really long time, so...
There we go.
And I mean, it's got an assassin in there who has, like, daggers and stuff, which is kind of pointy, sharp things. It's kind of like a book on pins.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a adult book. It's the first in a trilogy, actually. And it's kind of like a gothic-y setting, and we follow our main character who is an assassin. That's all I really know. Yeah, I guess that's the next book that I'll be reading in September. Cool, so anyway,
So there's a shady figure.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
So
okay.
I jump, because there's
Yeah, some shady figures sat next to
Okay.
you. With a cloak. This time they are like a human size. They're not it's not another goblin trying to disguise themselves as
Okay.
They are very tall, wearing brightly coloured robes and a big hat, and they have a big beard.
Dumbledore?
They couldn't
Is that
look more
you?
like a standard wizard if they tried.
Do they have moon and stars on their cloak and hat?
I didn't envisage moons, but stars, yes.
Spectacles as well, like little half moon
no,
spectacles. Is
no.
that just a Dumbledore thing?
I think that's just a Dumbledore thing. They don't have spectacles.
Okay.
As well as the beard, he has a twirly moustache.
Oh.
So you know.
A suspicious wizard.
Yeah, no good.
I don't know why a
person has
twirly moustache would be suspicious.
That's evil, though, isn't it?
Is it?
But anyway.
Is he twirling his moustache?
Yes,
As
actually, as we speak, he's twirling his moustache, and looking at you with a bit of kind of like amusement. And so he says, "Hello there, little gnome. I believe you're hunting for some books."
How did you know?
Oh, is it? And he says, "Doesn't seem like you've been very successful."
Thanks for rubbing it in.
And he says, "Luckily, I know the third book you're looking for, and I just so happen to have it here."
Ah.
And he shows you it, and it is what was the other one?
Into
the Drowning Deep.
Ooh.
He's like, I believe this is the third book that you're seeking. And as he shows you it, you get excited because you're like, oh, he's got the book. And you're looking closely at it just to make sure it's the right one. And as you're looking at it, you notice there's a bit of a sort of like a sheen, like a shimmery, it sort of shimmers a little bit. Your eyes can't seem to quite focus on it. It looks
too
right,
good to be
it's got the
true.
right title on it, but there's just, you can't quite focus on it.
Okay.
And he says, I can sell you this book for 5 silver pieces.
Can I do some kind of insight check to see if he's telling the truth?
You can examine the book.
Yeah, okay.
Have a closer look.
I'll do that.
Because he's kind of trying to hold it at a little bit of a distance.
I'm suspicious by this shimmery...
And the
50 moustache. I mean, yeah.
That's all you need, really. So
I take a closer look? Can I take a closer look?
You can take a closer look. Yep, so we'll do an insight check. No, we won't do insight, we'll do investigation check.
Investigation check, okay. I'm nervous.
With advantage, because he's got the twirly moustache and he clearly looks evil. So I've just made this up on the spot. So with advantage in Dungeons and Dragons basically just means that you roll the dice twice and then you get to pick the higher number.
Yeah,
so I'm kind of being a bit kind because she's had 2 failures, so I feel bad. So you still might lose it, but you get kind of 2 goes.
Okay.
So you get to roll it
twice.
But again, if you roll it more than 10 the first time, then you won it. So.
Okay. Please.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
9. Okay, roll again.
With the dice.
You got advantage. You will roll again.
Oh, please.
He could have been more. He could have been less suspicious if he wasn't twirling his moustache.
Please. Yes.
11. Oh, just about. As if that's the highest roll.
I know. I've been so unlucky. I hope this isn't a reflection of what it's going to be like when we play Dungeons and Dragons on the weekend.
You're getting your bad luck out of the way now.
Oh, okay.
So, because from my kindness, you succeed.
Thank goodness.
And then on closer inspection, you realise that it's not actually Into the Drowning Deep. It is in fact a book about toenails.
Ooh.
Again, I just tried to think of something really boring and horrible.
Ingrown toenails.
Yeah, home remedies for ingrown toenails.
Could be useful to think. She does run around barefoot.
That's true.
But
yeah, but she scratches her toes on trees.
Yeah.
Like a cat. Just to keep the toenails down.
Just to file her nails down.
Yeah. Or when she climbing trees, I don't know. I'm just making that up. Excellent, you actually succeeded.
I succeeded.
You saw through the illusion and you call him out on it. And at first he's kind of a little bit like, you know, a bit like, oops, I've been caught. But then he kind of passes it off as like, haha, this was a test. You're clearly wise enough to be given the real book. And then he pulls out Into the Drowning Deep.
Yay!
From his satchel.
I've got one book that I wanted to read.
So he pulls it out and says, you've proven your wisdom, so you may have the real book.
Thank you.
For 5 silver pieces.
Oh, come on!
I mean, that's how much money you have, so.
Okay, fine, I'll give you 5 silver pieces. Give me the book.
There you go, thanks. And there we go. Okay, so you've got
one of the books. I'm going to very carefully put it in my bag.
Okay. Right then, so you...
So I have 2 wrong books and 1 right book.
You head back into the town.
Okay.
You've got 3 books. You've got one of them that's the right one, and it's been a long day. You've been through a lot, and you think, you know what? I've done pretty well to track down anything really, and at least I can let the shopkeeper know the fate of the other books. So I can, you know. So you go back to the shopkeeper in the bookshop. Oh, as you're going in, you see the wizard leaning around the corner of the building.
Won't leave me alone. What, the same suspicious?
The same suspicious.
Is he...
He's still twirling.
Oh God. Okay.
He pops up and he says, "Okay, I know the situation. I know you're supposed to have 3 books and you only got 1. Now the bookkeeper's not going to be very happy. I know the book you really want is the Book of Gothel.
Yes.
So I can do a deal."
What kind of deal?
So the illusion that I put on that book that you saw through because you're clever.
Yeah.
I can do that again on the other books. I can disguise them as the books that the bookkeeper... Bookkeeper, is that even a word? No, that's like bookies.
Librarian, is it?
Library, I don't know, bookshop.
Bookkeeper. It sounds cooler.
The bookies.
The keeper of the books.
I can disguise all of the books so they look like the ones that he asked for.
Oh,
and he'll be very pleased with you.
Ah, to like deceive the librarian.
However, in exchange, you need to stop being so fussy with your books.
What?
You need to read books that you don't want to read.
I feel so seen.
So, in exchange for this favour,
okay,
you have to read an extra book.
Oh, come on.
And it has to be one from your shelf of shame.
My shelf of shame?
He knows about the shelf of shame.
How do you know about my shelf of shame?
Because he's an evil wizard.
Oh, man.
He knows about your shelf of shame. He knows you've been neglecting those books. So you have to read 1 book from your shelf of shame.
1 book.
As well as the other books. And then the illusion means you'll have a much better chance of getting the Book of Gothel. Or you can take your chances. Because you can still convince the bookkeeper to, I keep calling him bookkeeper, let's just go with that.
Bookkeeper.
You can convince the bookkeeper to give you a Book of Gothel anyway for your hard work. But he'll take some persuading.
I want to read the Book of Gothel.
Do you want to read it?
And I've only got 1 of the right books. I feel like he's not going to be happy.
So, in terms of the rules, if Ellie has 1 of the correct books, she needs to roll a 15 or more.
Okay.
No, a 16 or more.
But I haven't been very lucky with these rolls.
Maybe this is the time.
Okay, I think I will...
If you take the deal and all the books are disguised and he thinks they're all the correct books, then you only have to roll a 2 or more. The only way that you will fail is if you roll a 1.
Surely I won't roll a 1.
You have to, yeah, anything but a 1 and you succeed and the Book of the Gothel is yours, but you also have to read a book from your shelf of shame.
I feel like I need to explain what my shelf of shame is. So a while ago I did a video called My Shelf of Shame. I'll link it if you want to go and check it out. It's basically all of the books that have been on my TBR for the longest time that I've been putting off reading for one reason or another. And I mean, it would be good to force me to read one of those books, I guess, because I do feel quite guilty every time I walk past my shelf of shame. Okay, so I will take the deal.
You'll take the deal?
Yes.
Right then. I don't have any of the books from your shelf of shame here, so you can pick one later. You can choose it.
Okay. I'll put it on the screen, the book that I...
By its nature, they'll all be books that you don't really want to read, so I'll let you just choose.
I'll put it on the screen.
So this now means the books are all disguised as the correct ones. You go back into the bookshop.
Yes.
With the disguised books. And one of them is actually real, but the other 2 are disguised.
Right.
And so you go back in, and oh yeah, and in terms of the roll, because the guy is going to be so happy with what she's done, she can only fail if she rolls a 1. So it's very likely that she'll succeed. But you can still fail.
Oh come on, surely not.
Okay. So you go back in and you say, oh, what do you say? Shopkeeper, I guess. We'll roleplay it a little bit.
Hi librarian.
Hi.
I've been really busy. I've been out and about and I've managed to find all of your books.
Fantastic. I don't know how you managed it.
Yeah, but, it was quite an ordeal.
Well done. That's amazing.
Just gonna put them there.
So what did you want in return again? Remind me.
Can I please have your copy of the Book of Gothel?
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
Final dice roll. You need to film it. So you're rolling for persuasion.
Can I like make some flowers and like put them on top of the books to make them look.
You don't need to. Well, you can if you want.
Pretty.
If you're trying to get advantage, again, you don't need to because you only need to roll a 2 or higher. So.
Thank you, you suspicious wizard. Okay, I don't know why I'm like shaking this so much. It's because I'm nervous.
Just roll it. Just roll it.
Are you joking?
See, that's fine.
Oh, thank God.
That's literally the lowest you could have got.
I am like, I think I'm cursed.
I mean, you succeeded. So
by the skin of my teeth.
The owner of the bookshop is looking at them and he's like, there's something not quite right about these. He's like, this one looks okay. These other two, there's something a bit dodgy. He doesn't have much experience with magic, so he can't tell that there's an illusion, but he kind of like, he doesn't want to read them anyway, so he sort of flicks through the pages and they look more or less right. He's not that bothered whether they're the correct books or not, because, you know, he's just selling them. So he's fine. He's a little bit, and he's kind of a bit reluctant because he's kind of like, and also the books are a bit battered and, you know, got goblin fingerprints,
sticky fingers.
Yeah. So he's like, ugh. But you know, he says, well, a deal's a deal, and then he gives you,
yay,
your prize, the Book of Gothel.
Woohoo! I got my prize, and then I quickly scarf her out of there before he notices the books.
And then the wizard follows you home with a book from the shelf of shoes. Read it.
Cool.
There we go.
Alright, there we go. I feel like that was very stressful.
Yes, I'm very sorry that it wasn't particularly streamlined.
I feel like the dice doesn't like me. Maybe I shouldn't use this dice when we do Dungeons & Dragons on the weekend. So there we go. I hope that you enjoyed this TBR game. I hope it comes out okay. Obviously this is like the first time I've tried to do something like this. But yes, the books that I will be reading are Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman, Nevernight by J. Christoph. We've then got Into the Drowning Deep, the only book that I actually successfully won, by Vera Grant, and then the book that I'm going to choose from my shelf of shame. I'll put a picture up here because I'm not sure what it is yet, but
probably just the shortest one.
Yeah. And the prize, which is the Book of Gothel.
Well done. It's kind of,
thanks, I guess.
kind of well done.
Thank you for being the Dungeon Master.
That's alright.
For making such a cool story.
Oh no, don't know about that. I won't be writing books anytime soon.
Aww.
Ooh, there's a goblin.
I thought it was good.
Alright.
So leave a like if you like this video, subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Leave me a little something in the comments. Leave a, what emoji should they leave in the comment? I don't think there's a goblin emoji.
Is there a goblin?
No, there's a wizard.
There's a wizard. Leave a wizard emoji.
Leave a wizard emoji if you've made it this far. And I guess I'll see you next time with another video. Bye!
Bye!